I'm going to need to see Steven DeMarco go to prison. I'm recapping Tell Me Lies Season 3, Episode 5, warning spoilers ahead. Steven gets accepted into Yale Law School, and because of the consequences of his own actions, he has nobody to call. His sister Sadie doesn't pick up, and then he calls Wrigley, and he's like, do you want to celebrate? And Wrigley's like, yeah, sure, but let me ask Pippa first, and then I'll text you, like, whatever. Steven then decides to put his energy into hitting on a hot girl at the library. He needs to ruin somebody's life. Diana also gets into Yale, and she is at Planned Parenthood to get her situation taken care of. Bree and Evan are spending the morning together, and we learn that they have been spending the morning together for a week. Their plan to keep it secret does not last long because Steven shows up, and obviously he can't keep a secret. After Steven leaves, Bree's talking to Evan, and she's like, why are you still friends with Steven? He's terrible. Did you know that he left Lucy while she was in a coconut bra? And he's like, what? Where? Pretending to not remember anything about that Hawaiian luau party? And she's like, you were there because you left with that other girl that night, remember? And he's like, oh, I was only there for like 10 minutes and I definitely did not see Lucy or Steven. Definitely not Lucy. And Bree's like, I don't really want to talk about this, whatever. Lucy is at Alex's, and Alex is being really soft and kind with her and brings her a cup of coffee, and she's like, what's going on? Why are you being different? We learn that Alex has learned about Chris, Lydia's brother. And Alex is like, I didn't know that like what we were doing was like tied to your trauma. I'm not really feeling that. And Lucy's like, please don't change anything. Like it has nothing to do with trauma. Like please forget anything that you heard. Like I'm completely fine. And then she leaves and comes home to a bucket of pee outside of her dorm. The boys are celebrating playing pool, celebrating Steven getting into Yale. Molly keeps calling Evan, and Wrigley's like, did you communicate with her? And Evan's like, no. And Steven's like, she's gonna be fine. And Wrigley like gets the ick, and he's like, I gotta go. Like, I'm over this. And Steven's like, no, please, let's keep hanging out. Let's go to my place. It's like 40 feet away. And Wrigley's like, no. Hello, did it even occur to you that my brother died there? And it's really freaking weird that you still stay there knowing that he died in that dorm. And then Wrigley leaves, and then Steven looks to Evan, and he's like, oh my God, is that weird? I didn't even think about that. And Evan's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Pippa meets up with Wrigley and Bree, who are going over their photography class stuff. And Pippa's like, I'm going to this beach pool party fundraiser thing. Are you guys going to go? And Bree's like, no, I have to go into town for something. And Wrigley's like, I need to take a break. I'm going to like get off campus. And Pippa's like, why don't you guys go do that together and drive in the same car? So they do. Pippa and Lucy go to the beach pool fundraiser thing, and Molly is there with Diana, and Molly is complaining to Diana about how Evan is there and has the audacity to show up. He hasn't called her in 8 days. And Molly goes up to Evan and she's like, hello, you haven't been answering my calls. And Evan's like, yeah, like I thought you knew that it'd be casual. And she's like, oh my God, screw you, you're terrible. And she's like, you better delete those pictures of me. And he's like, I already did. And then Steven's like, what pictures? Because he's messy. And Evan's like, I genuinely deleted them. Lucy's in the pool by herself, and Chris comes up to her. And Chris is like, why are you spreading these rumors about me? I've known you since I was like 4 years old. And Lucy's like, get away from me. And he's like, I'm also cool with Pippa. Katie was crazy, but like Pippa and I are cool. And Lucy's like, you think that like people don't know about what happened with you and Pippa? And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, don't touch me. And then she leaves. Meanwhile, Pippa and Diana are like hooking up in the bathroom. And then they separate because Molly is like trying to get Diana's attention, and she's like, I just talked to Evan, like what the hell? And Diana's like, oh my God, Evan is your Steven. Why do you let him get to you? Also during the pool party, Steven and Evan are playing chicken with like these other girls with the girl that Steven met at the library. We find out that Bree was not actually going to town for a photo exhibit. She was going to sneak away and see her mom. And Wrigley's like, well, I guess I'll just take you there. And we meet her mom, and she's like this young, cutesy girl. But Bree has completely different memories from what actually happened. Bree thinks that she was with her mom for a year, and then like the rest like stayed with her grandmother. And then her mom's like, no, that was like just a month. And like my mom was super religious and kicked me out as soon as I had you. And Bree's like, okay. So again, the memories are disjointed, probably from trauma. Bree is like trying to like make future plans with Mary, who is her mom. And she's like, okay, fine. Like maybe we can hang out in the summer. Like I'm going to be house sitting with my boyfriend, like up at the shore. And Bree's like, yes. Oh my God. Yes. When Wrigley and Bree are driving back home, Bree is like, it's so crazy. My childhood was so chaotic. I never even learned how to swim. And Wrigley's like, what? So Wrigley takes Bree to what is now the empty pool party, and he teaches her how to swim, kind of. And we get this very heavy, tense scene. They nose graze, they almost kiss, but they don't kiss. they are like, no, we have to avoid this, and they go their separate ways. Steven goes up to Diana and he's like, hey, guess what? I'm going to Yale. And she's like, guess what? So am I. And he's like, what? But you bombed your LSAT. And she's like, I lied. I made up that lie to get away from you. And now that I know that you're going to Yale, I am not going to Yale. But because I'm perfect, I can go to Stanford, I can go to Harvard, I can go anywhere. But I will not be going to Yale if you are going to Yale. And he's like, you would change the entire trajectory of your life just to avoid me? And she's like, yes. This unfortunately pisses Steven off, so he goes back to his dorm and he has old intimate photos of Diana and he plans on emailing them. We don't know to who yet. Probably the dean or Yale or her dad. I don't know. He's toxic. Unfortunately, Lucy is no longer having a good time with Alex because he is now being soft and kind. So she goes back to her place, plays Steven's old voicemail where he is berating her, and finishes what Alex could not. Follow me for more Tell Me Lies recaps.